And for you folks out around Columbia County, especially, what's bad news for folks around Apalachicola, Carabel, Tallahassee, at least relatively speaking, we have even more confidence the eye wall, exponentially worse damage in the eye wall, that's going to stay to your west. Keep a close watch on the forecast. We'll keep you updated. We're showing you some of our interstates because I want to remind you that there's a lot of folks evacuating and hopping on I-10, going many different directions. Well, I guess there's just two, east or west. Some of them are then getting on I-75, others taking secondary roads, and there's plenty of first responders, utility type people heading in that general direction. So in addition to the fact the weather's already beginning to go downhill with some thunderstorms and will become dangerous, especially west of Jacksonville, the later in the day we go tomorrow, there's going to be a lot of folks on the road, and you probably will be helping them if you're not on the road either. Let's go and take a look at the big picture and, well, figure out the road or the rest of the way that Hurricane Helene is going to travel. I want to say it again because I think I can hear it in the questions, and that is that as this hurricane intensifies, has now made the turn, and is accelerating, you're going to hear about a lot of changes in numbers. But remember, this generally speaking, especially for us on the First Coast, is going pretty much as forecast. So at least for us on the First Coast, you can lock in those forecasts, but there will be variables, so make sure you tune in to what those variables are as we go through the period. So what I'm showing you here is radar. So these are the extreme outer fringes of showers and thunderstorms, and that's another problem that's going to develop. Now, you folks out around Columbia County up through Clinch and Ware County, you're going to have heavier rainfall totals than the rest of us on the First Coast, but the heaviest rainfall totals will also be out where the hurricane is going to make landfall. But again, that westward adjustment, it's just been 6 to 12 miles every cone announcement, which is every 6 hours, has been, relatively speaking, good news for those of you east of where this hurricane is going to make landfall. I also want to mention, what about any more adjustments to the west? I don't think so. If this is basically where the Hurricane Center is taking it, and all the models are now along or just east of there. For the last couple of days, there have been indications by some of the better models that I like have been west of what the National Hurricane Center has been saying. That's no longer the case. So I think this is about as far west as they will adjust it. We've talked about this tomorrow, but it's the same scenario. The front will focus the rain. Watch how the rain just lines up where the front is. All of that tropical energy slamming up against the front. And then will also steer the hurricane. Watch how the front will be forced to stall. High pressure was pushed out of the way, but it's not going to move. That's significant, and that's why this, after making landfall south of Tallahassee, is going to race toward Atlanta. So don't think you want to go to Atlanta if you want to be guaranteed power. They might be having power outages in Atlanta as well early on Friday morning. Ross talked about the hardest hit counties. What about the rest of us? Here's Duval. I think the windiest will be tomorrow evening at 5 through Friday morning at 5. That will be the best time to not be on the roadways. That's also when the highest risk of power outages will be. And with the limbs coming down, we'll cover the rest of our counties after. Did want to show you this, folks. We're going to have dramatically improved conditions by Friday.
Tim, thank you.